What is going on today, you guys? Back with another video for y'all today. Just hanging out here in the sleeper. Thought I'd make another little video and talk about some things. So, let's get into it. Hope y'all doing well. I'm up here in Windsor Locks, Connecticut. Sitting here at the, I think it's the Pride truck stop or something like that. So we're just hanging out. I've been here most of the day. Y'all check out what happened. I got a few different things I want to talk about. So, let me close this vent real quick. Alright, that's better. Had to close the vents. Try not to idle the truck, but with the windows be open, but it's a little loud, so I think I can do without for a little bit. So, had a load dropped off this morning at 8 a.m. Picked up yesterday in Milton, PA. I had a 6 p.m. appointment. Fortunately, I did not get there till about 6:45, 7 o'clock. Had to go through Scranton, and I guess at some point yesterday, going through Scranton, I guess the president was going through Scranton as well. Him and his whole, he's gonna call it a motorcade. I feel it's more like a mobile nursing home, but whatever, right? We're not gonna get into politics. So they were going through there, and of course, you gotta have extra protection because of the president. So, you know, they had cops everywhere, and traffic was backed up for miles. It was a mess. So I was a little late getting there. They worked on getting me loaded, but it took them about 2.5 hours to get me loaded. So I didn't leave, let's say 7, 8, 9. I got out there about 9:30, and I drove. It's about a 4.5 hour drive, and I was about 35, 40 minutes out when there was an accident. Traffic had been slowing down and whatnot. I was hearing over the radio that there was a major accident going into a construction zone. Truck hit some of the barriers and was kind of leaning on some of the barriers. So I pulled over into a rest area when I got a chance. Told dispatch about it. Sent in a message. I even tried calling, but I didn't get an answer. And I laid down and periodically would, you know, kind of check, you know, see what traffic was looking like. And it was backed up and backed up and backed up. And by the time it was still backed up, and I noticed my hours were pretty much out, my clock had ran down, and so I couldn't really do nothing. So I sent in another message to dispatch saying, hey, traffic still ain't really cleared up yet, and I'm running out of hours. Didn't get another response. Didn't get a response at all. So I ended up just finishing out a 10-hour reset, which didn't intend to, but got up about, I'll say probably about 11 o'clock, got going, and still hadn't heard nothing back. I head up there, and I get to the receiver, and they tell me, we're not taking any more live unloads for the day. You're going to have to come back in the morning. So I have to leave. I come out here to this truck stop and try again to get a hold of dispatch. And DM answers. I let him know what's going on. And I get told, all right, I'll see if I can't work on this. And I've not heard nothing else back. Now, I know my DM's been very busy today. I know he's taking over 2 fleets. So their DMs are out. But all I know is I had the one load after this one taken off me. So, guess we're going to try to deliver it in the morning. So I've lost my next load. I ain't even bothered looking for another load yet. I need to. But at this point, this week, I'm ready to head home. Because this shit's getting a little ridiculous. And I've tried not to bitch about too much about USA. But there's some things that need to be talked about. And since they don't want to listen, let's go post it on here. And this ain't just a complaint from me. This is a complaint from a lot of us ICs and owner-operators here at USA. One, communication. I guess they expect us to wait on hold on the phone for 45 minutes to an hour or even longer. I've had people tell me they have been on the phone on hold for 2 hours. I don't know about y'all. I'm not sitting on hold that long. I don't care who you are. I'm not going to do it. Sometimes I'll give you 10, 15 minutes, and that's about it. At that point, I ain't wasting my time. At that point, I'll send in a message, hey, you need to call me. If I don't get a call, that's not my problem. I did my part. I'll continue to send messages in and even try to call, but if I don't get a response back, that's not my problem. At that point, I take the judgment on what I need to do. So, that's been one problem, and that's, again, these are not problems I'm having, these are problems other ICs are having as well. Trailer shortage. Now, for the most part, I've not had to deal with it too much, but I have. In a couple of ways, I've had some issues. We just had a driver who drove. He drove from Memphis to Lebanon just to look for a trailer, and there wasn't even a trailer there. He had to keep driving and looking, and when he finally found one, there was a hornet's nest in the trailer. He had to get like a big one too. And he had to get the best thing he could get was carburetor cleaner, or it might have been starter fluid, one of the two. I said, shit, take that starter fluid, spray it, and then run. There's nothing more terrifying than a wasp on fire chasing you. So that's been another problem. Trailers and the bad condition of these trailers. Yesterday, before I dropped off my last load, I had a problem with two tires. I knew one was seemed like it was a little low on air, but I couldn't really see. It was nighttime. My flashlight had died, and I couldn't really find the issue. So I said, all right, I'll just check it out in the morning. Maybe it's just low on air or something. Except the truck had the auto inflate system, so that was a little concerning. But turns out there's a chunk of rubber missing out of the tire. It looked like I might have hit something in the road or something. And there was another one behind it that had a leak. Like I ran over a nail or something. USA doesn't have them replace both tires. They have replaced the one bad tire and patched the other one. Now, do you think that patch lasted? No. By the time I got to my next stop, it was leaking again. All I did was write it up on my DVIR to drop the trailer. Someone was just like, oh, you should go have that fixed. Well, I tried. USA didn't want to have it replaced. They only wanted it patched. I'm not going to waste more of my time to go back to a truck stop, sit there and wait for it to just get patched again. To the next driver, I'm sorry. But I did what I was supposed to do. If USA don't want to fix it right, there's not much I can do there. Next problem. These loads. They've got some pretty decent loads on there. I can't complain too terribly much about the loads. They do have some good loads, but you are getting to the point you have to really work for those loads. Really work for them. Rates aren't really improving. But something I have noticed, they will improve if we say something. They will improve for a short time, then they go back to where they were. We'll say something, they go back up, and then they go back to where they were. It used to be I didn't have much of a problem pulling loads from my house, or close to my house, but it's getting to the point I'm deadheading 150, 200 miles to pick up a load and to drop a load to get home. Now, I have had a couple times where I've gotten lucky and been about 50 miles away. That's the best I've ever gotten, which that ain't too bad, but 150, 200, 250 miles sucks. I've more than once had to deadhead home from Atlanta or Indianapolis, and a couple times even Chicago. That's a different story though. I've already covered that one. But typically, like Indy, closest I can get is like Indy, or maybe Louisville or Atlanta. So, what's that? This breakthrough fuel surcharge. No, not the breakthrough fuel surcharge. The all-inclusive rate that has gotten rid of the breakthrough fuel surcharge. and basically the other fuel surcharge as well. So when I started at USA, we had USA loads and we had brokerage loads. USA loads, it would show the rate and then the fuel surcharge, which was usually pretty good. And then you had the broker loads and the breakthrough fuel surcharge. You didn't know what it was until after you got the load, but you'd still get the full fuel surcharge, right? 100% of it, which was awesome. We enjoyed it. Then they went to the all-inclusive rate, which got rid of the breakthrough fuel surcharge. Here's how the math on this works out. Let's say you get 65% of a load. Okay, and that's what we get. So if it's $1,000, you get $650. And then we used to get, let's say, the breakthrough fuel surcharge $100. We got 100% of that, so we'd get $750 total. Well, now they're taking the load and giving us, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're giving us $1,100. We've all seen that they're not improving the rates on that. So now it's 65% of $1,100. I'm bad at math. I think that's $700. I'm bad at math though. So we're not getting a full fuel surcharge there. We're still losing money on that load. Now, some people say that it's good, you know, it gets us more loads, and you're right in a way. But now when you're having more and more and more and more and more of the loads pop up as the all-inclusive and less USA loads, that's kind of getting to be bullshit. So it wasn't bad before when you had a good mix of USA loads and brokerage loads, but now when it's 90% brokerage loads, it's kind of shitty. Especially when they were from customers that USA had that are now popping up as brokerage. And you can get on another load board and see plenty of USA loads paying a fuel surcharge. Kind of shitty, just in my opinion. So, going from there into fuel prices. Everyone knows fuel prices absolutely suck right now. Well, when I first started here, I was maybe only paying $800 a week in fuel, maybe, roughly $700 to $800. Sometimes $9 if it was an extra long load, a bunch of heavy loads, something like that. But it wasn't too bad. Now I'm $1,200, $1,300 a week. Do you think I've gotten more of a fuel surcharge, better fuel discounts, better paying loads? No. Something to make up for that? No. And what pissed me off is we had a bunch of USA drivers in a meeting that all said the same thing. We need better fuel discounts, or we need more fuel surcharge, or we need more percentage on a load. And USA basically said tough shit. They said, we can give you more of a fuel discount, but it's going to come from the load. So you're going to get less for your load, but you'll get a better fuel discount. So tell me why I can go get a Joe Blow fuel card and get more of a fuel discount than I do with y'all's card. But the problem with that is we still have USA drivers that can't figure out how to pay the damn IFTA. Because when you go to pay the IFTA over in Indiana says, no, you can't pay it, USA has to pay it. USA says, no, they're using their own fuel card, we're not paying it. And they're going back and forth, and there's people that still haven't paid their IFTA, and it's going to get to the point they're going to have like penalties and shit because they haven't been able to pay it, which is kind of fucked up. So there's that, you know. It used to be when I started here, I was running 3-4 days a week, home three or 4 days, and bringing home $1,500 after all expenses. That was nice. It's gotten to the point, I'm lucky, you know, and I can do pretty good sometimes, but you really got to work to do more than that. At least I've had to the last several weeks. Now I talked about where I did $7 grand. I did. But these last couple of weeks, it don't seem to matter how hard I work, I can't seem to get that. Or if I get close to doing that, something fucks up and something cancels. We can, but it's just like you're having to work extra hard to do that now. Compared to before, I could just go out, do my own thing, be out for a few days, come home for a few days, and still do $1,500 without a problem. Now, I'm having a hard time doing that, staying out a couple weeks. Having to work extra hard. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the money ain't out there, I'm not saying you can't make it. I'm just saying you have to work extra hard to do it. At least I've been having to. If you're in a different area, you might not be having to work as hard. But another thing, and I've had people tell me about this, and I'm not going to say I didn't believe them, because I believe them. But I guess that's where I hadn't experienced it myself yet, I just wasn't too sure about it. And that is USA capping you at a certain level when you hit a certain amount. I had 3 loads. They were going to have me grossing well over 10 grand. They would not let me pull that last load. Saying, well, we don't think you'll make it on time. We don't think you'll make it to the shipper. 8 a.m. drop. Now, of course, now with everything fucking up, I wouldn't have. But this is before that. 8 a.m. drop, 2:30 p.m. pickup, 3.5 hour drive. So if they took 2 hours to unload me, that would be 10 a.m. 11, 12, 1. I would have had an hour to spare. I think it's a 2:30. Yeah, it was a 2:30 pickup. I'd have had an hour and a half to spare. And by the way, it wasn't a full 3 hours. It wasn't a full 3.5 hours. It was about like 3 hours and like 15 minutes. So I rounded up to 3.5. So, oh, we don't think you'll make it. Whatever. Basically, I'm to the point, like a lot of USA drivers, we're kind of like, what the fuck? What's going on here? Because a lot of shit's changed. And we're saying something about it. We're saying, like I've been reporting trailers, but I've not heard nothing back about the trailers I've been reporting. Seeing them in yards with blown tires and damaged doors and holes in the roof or whatever. And I've not heard nothing back about them. And I'm hearing other drivers come along and reporting them, and still nothing getting done about it. Like what the fuck? So, not seeing I'm going to be leaving, but I will say I'm looking at options. Not saying I'm going to leave. Not saying I'm going to leave. But I am looking at my options. Because if I'm only going to be making $1,500 a week, $2,000 a week, and having to really work for it, I might as well go back local, make that same much or more in a week, and be home every night. Starting to get a little bit of belly on me. I could go back and do flatbed. I got people I know that do flatbed telling me they're making $4 or $5 a mile and not even have to tarp the load. It's not bad. So, like I said, I'm not saying I'm leaving. I'll still be here for a while. If USA keeps it up, keep doing everything they're doing, me and a few other drivers might be on our way out. And that's just me keeping it real. Like I said, I told you, they don't pay me to say anything I say. So, ball's in their court. Ball's in their court. They've helped me out a lot. I can't say I ain't messed up. I ain't been late to loads. I ain't, done this. I ain't fucked up booking a load or something. I'm not without sin. I'm not perfect. I fucked up. And I've owned up to it. I've said, hey man, I messed up booking this load. I don't think I'm gonna make it on time. Or this has happened, or whatever, I'm not perfect. But things have definitely changed here at USA since I started. So, that's about it, y'all. A little update video, kind of tell y'all what's going on. A little irritated with some things. I think I'm gonna try to grab a load out of here heading home, and we'll go from there. So we'll just like I said before, I've got shit going on that I'm just trying to deal with, and plus this, you know what, it don't matter. So, it's gonna work out though. It's a bad day, ain't a bad life. hey, we're gonna keep doing what we can do, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully, I don't leave. USA has been pretty good to me, and others as well. So that's it, y'all. Hope y'all have a great day, great night. If y'all got any questions, want to know more about what I'm talking about, more examples, whatever, let me know in the comment section. Hit me up if you got my number or my email. If you don't have it, ask for it. I'd be happy to give it to you. Y'all would like, share, subscribe. I appreciate y'all watching, and y'all be safe out there. Peace out.